Hello, Messiah members, friends, neighbors. This is Pastor Harris, and as always, I serve you as senior pastor, and it's good to talk to you a little bit today about just some updates of where we're at as a church community. We have begun our fall programming, and lots of kids are back in school, although virtually. And I'm sure everyone is still scrambling to get their feet on the ground. But in the midst of at least getting into some new kinds of normal routines and rhythms for the fall, I wanted to address just an update about where we're at as a congregation right now. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody, all of our members, our friends, our neighbors who continue to make Messiah a community of warm and loving faith and service in the world and care and connection with one another. It's really been heartening to continue to hear stories of how people are living out their faith in their daily lives, even though our daily lives are sort of upside down and a little bit topsy-turvy at times. So thank you for sharing those stories and for being the community that we are. Remember, this is important, nothing can defeat the work of God in Christ in and through us. No pandemic, no unrest, nothing can defeat what God is doing through us for our community. And I want you to hold on to that, especially as we are not quite physically together like we used to be. And I want to address that first, this whole idea of being in person. It's been Messiah's building use policy for a long time, even before the pandemic, to follow the lead of the Auburn School District. And so when the Auburn School District's not meeting in person, we're not meeting in person, whether that's a snow day or a pandemic. We kind of follow their lead because they really have a good sense of what is going on in the South King County area. And quite frankly, right now, even though some numbers around the state had stabilized for a while, South King County is not experiencing that. We are experiencing some upticks in the numbers of new infections from the coronavirus. And so we're going to be really careful. And I know that's frustrating. And I, along with the staff and the church leadership, would love to be in person holding Bible studies or doing meetings or worshiping together, doing service projects together. That's just not safe right now. It just isn't. I'll come out and say it. And health and safety of all our members is primary to what we're trying to do. And even though we are not meeting in person, we can continue to be in person through prayer, through some of our online Bible studies and our new God Talk conversation that's coming up, and worship, of course. There are lots of ways we can be together in spirit, if not physically in body. So I'm inviting everyone to prayerfully lean into that and continue to experience the support of the community, even though we are not physically together at this time. When will that be? We continue monthly as a church council to talk about where the coronavirus is in terms of cases in King County. We are able to look at the information that's available through the King County website and the state website, and just really be intentional. And I want to say that we are intentional about our decision making, and when it is safe and when the risk is lowered, we will be together physically again. I want to also mention that third quarter giving statements are going out, and you should be receiving those soon. And I want to just continue to say thank you for your generosity throughout this time of pandemic, and really give a word of encouragement to you that if you've been a little out of the habit of giving recently, I really would appreciate and encourage you're either catching up or making your contribution to Messiah. And you can do that on our website, our newly designed and evolving website. If you go to the Give section and look at Pathways to Giving, you'll see there's 7 different ways of doing that. And want you to pick one of those. The easiest way is to set up through your bank a giving, just an automated giving to Messiah. It's easy to do, and that really actually is very cost efficient because it doesn't cost you or the church some extra fees. So automated giving through your bank is really a great way to give. So I want to encourage that. But look at your third quarter giving statement, and if it's possible for you, really want to encourage some either catch-up giving or just a special thought and say, hey, we appreciate what you guys are doing and what we are doing as a community and want to support that financially. So thank you for that. And that leads into sort of just lifting up and touching upon our fall stewardship program, which is building a culture of generosity. And that really is a theme that we're going to take into this fall and into next year. We have been leaders of the congregation, staff in the congregation have been so just blown away by people's generosity of their time and talent and treasures with one another, looking out after one another, supporting our online worship, that we thought generosity really is a great hook to kind of hang our stewardship program on and think about and pray about and live into. What does it mean to be a generous community with one another? That's an exciting idea, and I'm really fired up about it. I'm starting to sound like Pete Carroll a little bit, but hey, the Hawks are winning, so that's good. Really want to encourage us to be a community that lives into generosity. And what does it mean to be generous souls and spirits and bodies with each other? And you'll be hearing more about that through online videos and videos during worship and electronic bulletin inserts and some words of encouragement by the church council. Really an exciting program that's going to wrap up in the middle of November with people's giving of their statements of intent for 2021. Now, a statement of intent used to be called a pledge, but we wanted it to come a little bit more from the heart. Pledge kind of sounds, like raising your hand saying, I'll do that, and it doesn't have that heart feel to it. Statement of intent really is, where's our heart at? And what do we intend to do to support our community of faith? And so you'll be hearing more about statements of intent as we move forward. We really are giving here of ourselves this fall through the statements of intent. Really, I want to say this and frame it this way, that our statements of intent really are about supporting some exciting things that are going to be coming up this fall and into next spring and summer. We have received the reports of our Faith Formation Task Force, and they are on our website under Connect, and then you go down to the Church Council area and you can go down to Documents and you can see the Faith Formation Task Force documents. I encourage you to read those and to become familiar with the recommendations of our Faith Formation Task Force. Some of the recommendations that I just want to point out now is the calling of a new associate pastor, and we're starting that process right away, and you'll be hearing ways that you can be involved virtually with that process of getting ready to call a new associate pastor. Our hope is to have a new associate pastor on board sometime between April 15th and July 15th of 2021. And their role is going to be Word and Sacrament Ministry and Children and Youth Faith Formation. They are really going to be focused in on those areas and bring a lot of great building upon what Tracy had done for so many years and what Savannah is doing right now. So we're very excited about that. In terms of the recommendations from the Faith Formation Task Force, they also recommended that we bring on a part-time pastor of care and welcome. And that's going to happen starting November 1st. And I guess we used to call this a visitation pastor, but as of November 1st, the Reverend Susan Curling Hackett is going to be part of our Messiah staff. She's going to work about 10 hours a week, and right out of the gate, she's going to be doing calling on the phone or setting up Zoom meetings and visiting with people and getting to know the congregation. Reverend Susan is retired and has moved to Auburn and is offering her skills. She has great skills in all sorts of areas, but pastoral care and caring and communication and listening and building up the body of Christ is really what she's going to be about. So look for more information about that. For the end of October, she is going to be on board starting officially on November 1st. Some other staffing and things that are going on are some readjustments among our staff in terms of who's going to be focusing on what. We are going to be having Lynn focus a lot on our, of course, giving and stewardship, record keeping and data gathering. She'll be doing that along with other data operations around membership and being general support to the rest of the staff. In the new year, 2021, we're going to be increasing some Pam's role. Right now, she's been our financial coordinator, and she's going to add another word to her title. She's going to be both finance and operations coordinator, and she's going to kind of centralize a little bit in her job portfolio sort of the tasks that it takes to keep our program or our building running and doing well. And so Pam's going to become finance and operations coordinator. Jan Nelson is already been working hard on updating and caretaking of our website. She is becoming our website and social media coordinator. That role is vital, not just during this time of pandemic, but as we move forward and really want to reach people digitally. That's where people are at. And although we continue to do paper mailings to folks who are either not connected electronically or just don't want to be a part of that world, we will continue those, but we really want to enhance our digital outreach and strategy. And so Jan is going to be social media and website coordinator. And then next fall, a year from now, if we're back together, which we fully expect, she'll also continue her work as director of the chancel choir. Tia's role has become really vital for making our worship happen, online streaming worship. And so Tia is, we're calling her our worship production manager, which might sound a little strange because we think of worship as something that we all do together and participate in together. We continue to do that even though it's online and live streaming, but it really gets at worship production manager encapsulates all the different pieces that it takes to pull together worship. Tia's great with that, along with shepherding our sound techs and gathering and making sure all the musicians are know what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be doing it. And she really directs the ship on Sunday mornings, and she will do that both now and after we're back in person. We're going to continue live streaming, and so that art of producing worship is going to be continue to be needed. So Tia will do that, along with continuing her work as kind of communications coordinator around Constant Contact and all those kinds of paper things that we do continue to mail out. Katie's role is shifting some. She's focusing in on our one service, along with taking on more responsibilities for rehearsing musicians and planning out our worship. She and Christy Perko together have been doing a great job, and so I want to say a shout out and thank you to Christy for her continued work and help making worship happen during this time of pandemic. My role is going to be changing a little bit as the new associate pastor comes on board. Excuse me. My role is going to be focused on Word and Sacrament ministry and adult faith formation. That's an area that I'm going to take increasing responsibility for. So Word and Sacrament ministry, adult faith formation, and then continued strong work with finance and stewardship, along with head of staff duties, and then emergency pastoral care, those kinds of things. So my plate will become a little more well-defined. Susan will be taking on leadership of our care team ministry as part of her pastoral care and welcoming duties. And so I'm excited that we are going to have, by the time we get going in the spring, or summer if the call process goes on longer, we'll have 3 pastors that will be part of congregational ministry, 2 full-time, and then Pastor Susan, who will start out at 10 hours a week. Would love to increase that. And again, whether it's faith formation, strengthening of that, whether it's strengthening of worship, whether it's strengthening of pastoral care, our building a culture of generosity process this fall is all about being able to continue to ensure that we're a strong and stable congregation, and that really our statements of intent are going to be given to say, hey, we want that. We're so excited by this opportunity to strengthen faith formation, strengthen worship, strengthen pastoral care, and come out of this pandemic strong and vital and engaged when we can be fully in person. That's what those statements of intent are about being so generous now in the midst of pandemic that it will just create energy and excitement as we come out of it. So that's really what is going on here this fall, and how we begin to build out strong as we look into finishing this time of pandemic and then coming forth as a vital and wonderful place. So that's my update. As always, go to our website to find out more information. That's www.mlcauburn.org. You can always email me, chuck.harris@mlcauburn.org. Or if you go on our website, you can find my phone number, and feel free to give me a call. If it's the middle of the night and it's not an emergency, I won't have any way of knowing that. But sometimes I sleep through calls in the middle of the night. But I really do try to stay connected. If I don't pick up right away, don't worry. I'll get your message and pick up as soon as I can and respond as soon as I can. So want to just say, God bless you all. Love you all. Thank you for continuing to be a vital part of Messiah Lutheran Church, and just get excited about this future. We got a lot of great things coming, and let's be a part of it together. God bless. Have a great day. Love you. Goodbye now.